All right, welcome back to Deep Dive with Dr. Fitz. I'm your host, Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick, Superintendent of Schools here in the Schuylkill Haven Area School District, and this is Season 2, Episode 24. 24 episodes in the books, and we're going to introduce you to some very cool people. To my right, Mrs. Schwenk and Matt Angelo. What grade are you in now, Matt?
I'm a junior now.
Wow, 11th grade already.
Yes.
Time's flying by. Another junior to my left, Blake Rossi, and Allie Benulis to his left. What grade are you in now, Allie?
I'm a senior.
Senior. How'd that happen? So, 3 terrific kids and 1 amazing teacher on the episode, and we are going to talk about something very cool to our district in just a second, and that is our Trout Committee and some special things that happen in Mrs. Schwenk's classroom and, of course, outside of her classroom. But we need to mention a few district talking points. First of all, thank you, everyone that made the PTO basket raffle such a huge success. That was awesome. I won a dog bed filled with dog treats, and my dog is very happy about that. But the big weekend is coming up next weekend. It all gets started Thursday the 10th, a special senior citizen showing of our annual musical Pop Stars. So let's talk about the dates, the times, and all the details with tickets for that real quick. So backed by popular demand, our online ticket sales. Now you can get your ticket sales. We had a little issue with PayPal. That's what happened. And we got it all resolved. Our online ticketing is back, but you can still buy pre-sale tickets in person. High school main office is going to be open throughout the course of the day, quite frankly. Anytime during the day you want to buy tickets, come on in. You can buy them in advance. And then in person on Wednesday, April 2nd from 4 to 5:30 p.m. in the Zwirling Auditorium. Don't miss your chance to catch this star-studded performance. And we have some of those talented actors here with us today, but we'll get to that next week. That's next week's episode. Let's not spoil it, and we'll promote the big show more next week. Here today, though, Mrs. Schwenk, let's start with you. Okay. This is exciting. Tell us about Trout Committee, how it all began, and what is the mission behind it?
Well, Trout Committee began when I instituted the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission Trout in the Classroom program. By choice, you don't have to have a Trout Committee. Right. I chose to do it because initially I had 2 students really involved. In fact, I'll give them a shout out. Jake Luckenville and Jake Pothering. They really jumped into it head first when I initially started the program. But I knew that we needed a little extra help because it is very, very involved, as these folks can tell you. So any type of activity that I can involve students, especially in promoting environmental stewardship, I want them to be involved. I want them to have the hands-on experience. And so I thought, well, let's get a Trout Committee, not just 2 or 3 students taking care of it, not just officers. And so it has evolved into about 50 students that come in on a daily basis and check chemicals, how are the fish doing, feed them, and so forth. But I think the mission is, as I mentioned, to make our students better in touch with their environmental responsibility, become good stewards. And I think when they're interactive and see the role that they're playing, it makes them take that with them and spread that to family and friends. And so I think that's super important as well, as it gets out to the community. Yeah, no question. Students, we'll start with you, Matt. You can answer first. How did you get involved with Trout Committee, and what drew you to the project?
I originally saw about Trout Committee my freshman year, and with me being a Boy Scout, it seemed like something that would help, that would go with what I'm interested in, and activities we do a lot in Boy Scouts with conservation and environmental health and fishing as well, because fishing's a fun activity, but if you're not taking care of the environment while fishing, it ruins the ecosystem.
Is there anything you're not involved with? I guess it would be a better question for Matt Angelo. Now that I think about it, every time I turn around, I'm watching you. You're either in the play, a musical, performing in a choir, or playing an instrument. You kind of do it all, including Trout Committee. Good. That's good.
Never a free moment, but love to stay busy.
Yeah. Well, that's great news. How about you, Mr. Rossi?
So for me, my freshman year, I had Mr. Schwenk for biology class, and both Matt and myself, we'd always help Mr. Schwenk every day. We'd stay during our lunches to help her, like whether it be a water change or retest the chemicals. And then as we seen like the fish develop and grow, it made me like fall in love with it and just want to keep doing it. And then as well with like fishing, it was just good to see like us helping like regrow the fish population.
Good. I love it. And by the way, I've watched you grow. You're a junior now, and every time I walk by you in the hallways, you seem to be a half-inch taller. How tall are you now?
6'2".
Yeah, I thought you were over 6 foot. Yeah, you might not be finished growing, which is even scarier. You look a little bit like Alec Boehm, a little bit. Go Phillies. And we're announcing here that 6'2", now that he's at 6'2", he's coming back to play some basketball next year. Love to hear that. Allie Benulis, a senior. What got you involved here?
So I didn't actually join Trout Committee until my sophomore year, but my freshman year I had a couple friends who were sophomores and juniors who were involved with it, and it seemed like a really fun activity, so I decided the next year to sign up for it. And then, like Blake said, I also stayed a lot during my lunch periods and helped out, and I just really fell in love with it.
Good. So somebody's tuning in and they're saying, what the heck is Trout Committee? I never heard of a class like that in a school, right? What is Trout Committee? I've never heard of it. What is Trout in the Classroom program, and what does it involve start to finish? Mr. Schwenk, why don't you jump in on that one?
So it is a hands-on conservation program really highlighting watersheds and the importance of taking care of our cold water areas, especially for us here in Pennsylvania. You have to think back to earlier times when there was tons of logging going on and the mining and all these other activities that were unfortunately depositing debris into our waterways. And we've come a long way, and we are cleaning up, and that's so important because these fish, the trout, need a cold environment, and they need a clean freshwater environment. And so the whole program is focused around that, and again, the stewardship that's involved in taking care of it. And I just think this is great for these students. I wanted to mention, Matt and Blake said about when they got involved, they took on the initiative their freshman years. It was like, wow, these two are so interested and so into this. And, and Allie took interest too when it became her sophomore year. But from the get-go, when they weren't even an officer or initially on the committee, they really wanted to help out. So I appreciated that.
And I get to see the excitement, as you see all of this evolve and grow, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But let's go back to the kids on this one. Why don't we start with you, Allie? Raising trout eggs is a big responsibility, right? So what's been most surprising or challenging part for you, and what challenges have you experienced this year?
I think the biggest challenges we've had is just like issues within the tank itself. Like last year we had a lot of cannibalism going on. So the biggest challenge would definitely be like trying to conserve as many fish for release day.
Yeah, we kind of joked before we get on the air that when we talked about that, we'd start singing Circle of Life in the background. But no, that's a huge challenge. How about you, Blake? Something that, that you want to talk about that maybe was surprising to you as you got involved with all this?
I think like the most surprising thing is how many fish we lose every year.
Yeah.
Like every year we get, like the past couple years it's been 100 and some. And this year we lost a bunch at the start and we got more. So like we had almost 300 to start. And then like the one day we lost like 200 within 2 days. So it really for me, it like lowered my morale towards it. And it was like, wow, we just lost 200 out of 300 fish. Like what happened?
Yeah. And then what happens exactly is that you have 100 left that you need to care for, right? And those are the ones that you're going to focus on. How about you?
Yes, it's seeing like, especially when they do die, like you actually have to get them out. It's like, this is tragic.
Yeah.
This is tragic. But then it comes into mind that when you think of nature, if nature had that success rate on getting those fish to adulthood or even just to that rate, we would have way more fish in our rivers than that.
Yeah.
Because fish produce so many eggs, and it's just the odds of becoming an adult fish are really harsh.
And I love, because this leads to my next question. I'm going to have you jump right into it, Matthew. I'll stay with you on this. So you've watched the tragedy. You've dealt with
Which we've had a lot of tragedy this year.
Yeah.
We've had a chiller go on us.
Yes.
What was that? 3 days before the trout eggs were arriving. And then we had
it was the
2
day we
days
got-
after the
Yeah.
eggs arrived. I came in one morning, water everywhere. The aquarium was down, I think it was about 15, 20 gallons, because here's some hoses that were working since October came
Yeah.
loose. And so the water dropped below the egg level. And so I was in a panic, and all of my officers came right away. We had to clean up, get water in the aquarium. And we thought we were going to lose them all. And that's why Blake had mentioned we got more eggs, because the Fish and Boat Commission sent us more eggs. But then everything seemed to be going well, but we were like, how are we taking care of 299 eggs in a 55-gallon aquarium? And we released them, and within hours, they just were dying. And it was like, they were fine. What's going on? And the 2 days, the one day it was like 54, I think, and the next day like 98. It was the day I had our biology club trip, and my husband and I came in at night. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I literally was sick, because these are like my babies.
Yes.
So it ends up that they think what happened is this one power head we had in created some toxic water and killed the fish. So I took that out, and once we did that, we had a recovery, but now we're having cannibalism. Unfortunately, we haven't had any diseases. A couple years ago, we had disease, which is really bad. That would have been like when, oh my goodness, Shane Pothering and Trent Creasy and Colin Felty and Josh Magdeburg, who were also awesome officers. We have had that issue. So every year there's a new obstacle, but this year there were 3 obstacles. So it was a little frustrating.
I love these behind the scenes stories. This is a look into what happens. So let's tie into that. Now, the ones that do make it, what's that moment like when you finally release them in the water?
It's a sense of accomplishment, because we've put so much work into this. Like, it's so many hours that it might as well be days.
Yeah.
Like if we're given upwards of an hour or more some days alone, like times that by the 5 days a week for how many months straight, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's just straight like pure joy, and like it's one of the greatest feelings to like, I helped raise these.
Yep.
This is one of my creations. This is mine.
That's great. How about you, Blake?
I just want to add on to what Matt was saying. Like, when we release, I'm like, yeah, it's a major accomplishment. But what I like to see, it's like, wow, these are the fish that like survived, whether it would be like a famine in the tank or like a disease or like whatever. They were the fish who were able to make it through.
They're the fighters. Yep. Allie.
Kind of like what both of them said, it's definitely like something to be proud of, especially when it is a year that there's a lot that goes wrong with them.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, these actually survived and we helped get them here.
It's such a great life lesson that you are experiencing as students, that this isn't easy, this isn't always perfect, and this is going to be met with obstacle. That's going to be life. I mean, that's what you will deal with as young adults and as older adults. Things don't always go the way you think they're going to go, or they're even supposed to go, but it's how you respond to that, and you've all done a great job. All right, let's talk about Environment Day, because that's a great day. What do people expect from this event? And Mrs. Schwenk, why don't you expand on what it even is?
Well, so we start the day out with our trout release, and I usually hope to have every student that's participating put one of the fingerlings into the Bear Creek. This year, we're going to be cutting it close with the losses we've had, but hopefully, right now I have about 125, 130 students participating. I'm hoping we have enough.
Yeah.
Schuylkill Headwaters usually donates some adult trout for us too, so that's really neat for the students to see what these fingerlings will eventually grow into. And then we also are hoping they survive in the Bear Creek to become adults, because we don't know, what that survival rate is going to be once we're done with them, and we can just hope for the best. But then after we do that, then we have a series of stations that the students rotate through, that I have teacher chaperones that join us. And so we have the Schuylkill Conservation District with Porcupine Pat and his assistant Hannah. They'll be taking the kids on a nature hike. We have a Schuylkill Headwaters. They'll be doing macroinvertebrate. We usually do some seedling planting as well. We have the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. I'm not sure what their activity is going to be this year, as well as the the Pennsylvania Game Commission, they will have an activity. Cabela's will be there with their safe archery program, so I know the students really like that.
Yeah.
And then we also have Schuylkill Headwaters who do the bucket casting contest. So it's really a diverse activity day. I want the students to realize all that the environment has to offer, all the outdoors has to offer, but as, again, their role in conserving the environment and their, good citizenship, good stewardship. We also will have a grand finale with Peggy Hens from Red Creek Wildlife, and we serve lunch. So they'll be getting pizza and donuts
Best part of the
and
day.
all that good
Yeah.
stuff. And so besides all those other volunteers and those organizations, like, again, a shout out to them. I just thank them so much for devoting time to help with that day. My husband and his friend Joe also help out with the lunch. So they're a big help with that, as well as the teachers. Though that saying about it takes a village, it really does.
Students, let's ask any one of you. You've now had these experiences, hands-on learning. I love it. I love when I look out and I see a greenhouse, or I'm walking down the hallway and I have to dodge a drone that's coming through the hallway. And then, of course, what you're learning here. Has any of your experiences here impacted what you want to do, maybe for a living or even as a hobby on this side? Have you done anything in school here so far as a junior that has influenced, or even a senior that has influenced maybe your course of study moving forward, or even a hobby that you'll have on this side? Allie, anything that stands out to you?
I think the biggest part would be like teaching the younger students in Trout Committee, because I'm going for elementary education, so it's definitely that like experience of just passing on what you know and like impacting the younger generations.
Good for you. Blake, how about you?
I would just say, like, as I'm a fisherman, I like to fish.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot of people, they overfish. They take too many fish out than what there should be. So it's like, for me, it's like a life lesson. Just like, don't overfish, and just like try to help grow the population as much as you can.
Good. Great response.
It's best for me, for overall just environmental, like being aware of the environment, like especially it goes in hand with scouts. Like a couple weeks ago, I was camping. One of the warmer weekends, so that was nice. So I was camping, and I'm in a lean-to that my scout troop, we built out of twine, sticks, and logs that we all like cut and carved and got all by hand. And it was hours of our work, just sleep on the ground, but I was comfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's all our work, and we were able to do it in a way that did not harm the environment at all. And it's really nice to know that you can follow like passions outdoors and still not do anything bad to the environment.
You can actually do that the rest of your lives too.
Yes.
That's the
Right,
best part.
exactly. And I think too, off of what they said, and with our Environment Day trout release, I think it helps to take some of our students out of their comfort zone.
Yep.
And there are a lot of students that have never lifted up a fishing rod or a bow and arrow, or have never gone for a hike in the woods, and get them that experience instead of, being at home on the video games with the phones and so forth. So I think that's super important, sending that message out to them. And I personally, I just love to see the excitement and the smiles on the faces when they're releasing the trout or when they're doing these activities, or if they can't cast the line, it's comical. And it's a great experience for them. And I'm so happy that I've been able to do it for as many years. I wish I had done it longer. I started in 2018, and my daughter Kelsey is the one who made me aware of it. But I think during the time I have been doing it, it has impacted a lot of students, I hope.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that, because you've got a young future teacher here, and I think what I'm hearing is that 30 years into the game, 35 years into the game, and still coming up with new innovations, new ideas. That's the kind of teacher you want to be. You want to be a teacher that every year you're making progress, you're getting better, you're doing new things with your students, and you're embracing opportunities like Mr. Schwenk has done here for all of your students. So that's a note to yourself there as a future teacher, hopefully here at Haven. You want to do those things. All right, let's have some fun. We're going to do a rapid fire half dozen questions because there's so many of you. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with this, and then I'll wrap it up with something that's fun too. All right, so Mrs. Schwenk, we're going to start with you. Favorite science lesson or favorite science experiment to teach?
All right, in my bio and honors bio classes, I love genetics, love that. In my anatomy and physiology honors classes, I like when we test the Daphnia, which are crustacean, with the effect of drugs on their heart. And I also love our cat dissection, too.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right, let's go Matt and Allie on this one. We'll start with you, Matt.
Ooh.
You're going to be in the musical next week.
I will be.
Again, senior citizen, free showing for all of our community senior citizens. If you live in Schuylkill Haven Area School District, next Thursday, April 10th, they'll see Matt and Allie on stage. Matt, if you had to describe Pop Stars, the musical, in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Fun, upbeat, and entertaining.
I've seen a little of the practice. Agree, all 3. Allie.
I mean, I definitely agree with the fun. Energetic and very catchy.
Oh.
Yeah, I've never heard of the show before this year. This is the first time, and I am blown away by what I've seen already just with sneaking in the back of the auditorium to check out your practices. You're doing great. All right, Blake, this one is just for you. What is your go-to fast food spot?
McDonald's.
McDonald's, all right. What's your favorite food at McDonald's?
So every time I go to McDonald's, I always get 2 triple cheeseburgers.
Oh, two triple cheeseburgers.
I'm the fattest skinny person I know.
So, we've got to just, I think that's a bell ring. I think we're going to ring the bell because we've never had anyone admit to eating 2 triple cheeseburgers and still being so young and healthy. Thank goodness you're going to come back out for some winter sports next year because we're going to have to burn that off. Eventually, your metabolism is going to drop. So, good. Blake, 2 triple cheeseburgers. I've never heard of it. Mrs. Schwenk, if you weren't a science teacher, what would you be doing for a living?
I would have been a biomedical engineer.
Ooh, good.
Yeah.
All right. I don't even know what a biomedical engineer does, but it's...
You design things that help future generations or current people. It could be a cure, it could be a prosthetic, et cetera. It involves a lot of research and reaching out and helping people in need. But I think I'm reaching out and helping students in need. So I think I made the right decision.
I would second that. Absolutely. Good. All right, Matt and Allie, back to you. We're focused a little bit on Pop Stars, the musical next week. Which song from Pop Stars is stuck in your head the most? Allie, you go first on this one.
Ooh, there's so many, but I think All Star.
Okay. All Stars, yeah. By the way, every song in the show you're gonna know. That's kind of pretty neat. That's one of my favorite parts. How about you?
I probably have to go. Can't touch this.
A little, I did get to watch your dance moves the other.
You want to give a live demonstration?
Yeah. So no. He's trapped by the microphone. We have to save it. We have to save it for the big stage. Yes. Yeah. So you're gonna sing a little MC Hammer.
Yes, I will be.
I think I heard some Cher. Obviously, who sings All Star?
It's an ensemble number, so everybody gets
the whole group. You all get to say, I think I also heard some Shania Twain being sung up there on stage. So lots of good stuff. All right, and then last Dirty Dozen question is for Blake. What is your dream job?
Aerospace engineer.
Aerospace engineer. Wonderful. What would you do as an aerospace engineer?
I'd basically, whether it be build planes or build rockets, anything that could fly or go into outer space.
So I'm going to add a question. We have to ask this. Blake, if you could choose any superpower, what would it be?
I don't know, probably the ability to fly.
I was hoping you'd say that because the ability to fly without the need for aerospace engineers to create a device to fly in. If you could just put a cape on and fly, that would be pretty cool too. So, all right, great stuff. This was fun. All right, we're gonna have a little more fun. So this is going to be, and none of them know this, but I just want to read a few notes that were recently submitted about this fine lady to my right. Mrs. Schwenk should be a Diamond Award winner because she is an exceptional teacher in so many ways. It's evident each time you see her that she loves the Haven School and community. She attends almost every sporting event, and by the way,
try.
I will add to that, spends most of her paycheck baking goods to hand to the students that are participating in those events. She cheers wholeheartedly. You can see her throughout the community supporting many other events, such as Burrow Day. Recently, she came into school on her last Friday off before the start of the school year to provide this person's son, another student in the district, with a book to complete summer work. So just an example how she goes out of her way. This was a recommendation from one of our parents, and was so proud, and also one of our teachers, I should mention too. She feels like Mrs. Schwenk should be the April Diamond Award winner. And
Well,
you know
thank
what the Diamond Award is? So let me tell you all what the Diamond Award is. So let's give her the trophy. And then,
Thank you.
good job,
I
Mrs.
knew
Schwenk.
nothing about this, but
And
thank you.
this, it was the only way we could surprise you. We had to bring
this
her on
is
the show.
definitely
So
a
this
surprise.
is good. The $100 donation to Carmelo's Roman Delight. This is the least we could do. You've spent $100 on ingredients this week alone. So that's a gift for you.
Thank you so much.
From Carmelo's Roman Delight, and one of our sponsors that picked up
Thank
that. So now you need to take your husband out for dinner.
Yeah, he's very supportive.
Yeah.
I think as the kids know. He
So
sees them with me.
I think we
He's
have to
been with
share
me
the
everywhere.
story that the three of us, me, you, and your husband, were at the softball game the other night when it was very cold.
Yes.
And I just leaned down. I said to them, just pretend you're laying on the beach. They were literally laying on the grass bank, and the wind was howling, and the dirt was blowing in our faces. And I looked at her and her wonderful husband, and I said, let's just pretend we're on the beach. And but you don't miss. You're always at all this stuff, and we hope you'll do
I
that for
try to
a
be
few more
supportive.
decades. We'd like to see you at all this stuff for
Yeah.
many years to come.
You will.
But
You
you
will.
deserve the
Thank
Deep
you.
Dive Diamond Award. Students, what do you think? Good choice for the April?
Absolutely.
Perfect choice.
This is no
Absolutely
April
perfect.
Fool's joke, by the way. This is the real
Well,
thing.
this
so.
is an awesome district, and I have awesome
Yeah.
students and staff. So I really appreciate this. And I don't want to
Yeah.
start crying.
No, don't cry on us. And by the way, that trophy is very heavy. So
Yes,
if you need
it
Matthew to
is.
hold that for you, he's a strong young man.
I wouldn't
so.
trust
Would you like
Matt to
to
hold
hold
that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he does drop things, so be careful.
Okay, we
Don't
don't need to talk about that.
Matt, you're the most
Yes.
clumsy one out of all of us
Oh
here.
no! What did he
Yeah,
drop?
he drops a few things, but don't worry. This is a soft, cushiony turf surface that it will fall on. So, yes, beautiful.
Thank
We're so
you.
proud of you. But thank you.
And
So-
thank you to my officers and all prior officers and
Yes.
all my students and whoever recommended me. It's very
Yeah.
appreciated.
Well, it was Mrs. Adams. She's a pretty
Okay.
good lady. Oh, actually, we had a
Yeah,
few
I guess
recommendations,
so.
but she's one we wanted to share
Okay.
and
Well,
read
she's
out
awesome.
loud. So, and we've been holding on. This was recommended a while back. We've been holding on to this award for this very episode. We had actually planned this out, and we're so proud that we did. So, folks, great teachers, great students. That's what our Schuylkill Haven Area School District is all about. Be sure to spread the word. Like and share this podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We made it simple now. Deep Dive with Dr. Fitz on YouTube. And then, of course, we are on Spotify. So for all the cool kids like us, we can go on Spotify and share this with all your friends. Get the word out. Let everybody know that this place is just filled with awesome teachers and students just like the ones to the right of me. As we always say, make those positives so loud that the negatives are almost impossible to hear. And once again, thanks for watching.
And be Haven proud.